Call me crazy, but I don't know about you, but everything is just getting way too expensive to the point where it's just not worth it anymore. It's just not. It's not. Call me crazy. Call me insane. Call me toodaloos. Call me woo. But we're going to go over the top 12 things that just aren't worth it and how I'm going to save you money. And you might be like, Mike, what the fuck do you know about saving money? Well, I'm going to go over some of my tips and tricks that have saved me, and I'll be open and honest. Yeah, about how I saved, how it got me to where I am. This is going to help you out, and I wish someone would have told me this shit when I was 25. So, the younger you are, the better. All right, guys, let's get into it. And the point of this video is to help you manage your money and to stop buying crap you don't need, right? I'm sure we're all realizing that more and more. Stop buying new cars and car payments in generals. Start Stop buying car payments in general. So, according to current research that I did, the new car payment is around 748 to 760. That's just on a new car, right? A used car finance is about 532 a month, and leasing it is about almost $600 a month. So, yeah, that money could be going in your pocket, helping you with it, whatever you need. I'd say invest part of it into a high yield savings account. That way, when your car does have issues, you have money to not only that has been stacking, but it will help you fix. Has it been stacking and accruing interest month over month, compound, but it is going to definitely help you. The quality isn't there anymore. I don't know if you guys heard, but just they're making them more and more shady these days. Just look at Honda and Toyota. Once the kings of quality and reliability are now, just junkers basically. Everyone's trying to put a V4 four-cylinder turbo, in there, and these cars aren't made for it. And it's pretty much like the Toyota Prius second generation. Like they're still figuring this stuff out with these, smaller size engines with a turbo in it. Payments are so high. Do you think $500 is a deal? That's not a deal. That's just you getting ripped off blind. That's doesn't work. What you have to understand is this holds you back every single month. You understand what compounding that $500 will do? I mean, shit. What this ends up doing is holding you back every month. Imagine what you could be doing investing that money into an S&P ETF like VOO or the Dow Jones. Silver is going to go through the roof this year because I don't know if you heard about China, but they basically said anything that you want to come out of China now has to have government approval. So, I mean, just look at the price of RAM, price of GPUs, everything's going up, right? And not to mention, you're losing so much value when you drive a car just off the lot. Me personally, I call it 50%. A lot of people would say, 30%. On top of that, you're losing value every year. So then when you go to trade it in or get another, you're bent over a wheel with negative equity, and thus you join the ranks of everybody who has an even higher insane car payment. You might hear those stories where it's like $1,200 a month for a car payment. Not fun, let me tell you. The reality is, if you can't afford it, there's no shame in that. You just need to be realistic. I've done very well, and I've gotten, cash cars between $3,000 and $5,000. If that upsets you or that's not what you're looking for, hey, you know what? I, I, I own my own home. I pay little, insurance on my car. I can understand. A car is transportation, and transportation just needs to be reliable. That's it. Okay. If you're stuck on the brand name, then it's you got some work to do because it's not all about the brand. It's about reliability and being able to get to work and make money and come home safely. Your annual tech upgrade is just not worth it anymore. I mean, getting a new phone maybe 10 years ago might have been worth it with the substantial upgrades, but now it's very minimalistic as far as what you are gaining with a new phone. You shouldn't get a new annual tech upgrade just because you're keeping up with the Joneses. And this goes for both Android and Apple users. Don't make it seem like I'm going after one of you guys. You guys are both wrong, okay? I've been a victim of this too. I now hold on to my phones a lot longer, and I just make it work, because that's what we need to do in today's economy. Is you got to be able to just make it work with what you have. If you don't, you're going to be paying the cost and paying interest to someone else. Let me tell you. For instance, on the research I came across, it was about 200, it was about 200 to $300 per year in interest, in payments that you're making, which comes out to about every 3 years, that you're upgrading your phone. So New York Times basically said, you're basically paying 12 bucks a month. If you basically put that 12 bucks a month in like a Roth IRA over 25 years, that would be $25,000, right? So think about that. Is a phone really worth it? The cameras aren't that much better these days. It's very minimal. It doesn't make sense if you don't need it. And a lot of times it's all just marketing gimmicks and hype. So if you're like someone I knew, who has really, stuck with a 64 gigabyte phone, yeah, things have gone a little bit further than that, and you find yourself deleting photos, apps every day just to make space and room for your phone to continue to work because the operating system, the updates, everything needs more space. So, of course, now, 128 gigabytes used to look cool now, 256, 510, even 1 terabyte is the hot stuff. But like I always tell you guys, just if you're needing, if it's about photos and backing up your videos, just buy an older, Google Pixel up to 4A, and you'll get unlimited Google photo storage. So yeah, don't become victims. And I think that's also part of our, creature comforts, or just our habit of just looking for more comforts. The screen's got to be more buttery smooth, right? It's got to be 120 hertz screen. It's got to be AMOLED, right? It's like the simple things that used to wow us just don't even do it for us anymore. And if the phone runs a little bit faster, it's like, okay, then, my ADHD and my obsession with, looking at stuff goes. If you're looking to get a new phone, look at refurbished, renewed. That's the way to go. Get last year's model. There's no need to go buy, a $1,200, or lock yourself into 3, 4 years. Do you know what's going to happen in 3 to 4 years, right? Are you gonna have the same job in 3 to 4 years? Just saying. Uh, Number three, everybody loves this one, credit card interest, right? Credit card interest varies per household and per person, about $500 to $1,000 per family per year that they're paying just in interest alone. So you're not even paying off, and this is exactly what these companies want. They want you to pay the minimum balance, so they keep you in their pocket and you're there forever. Basically, people think, oh, I just keep making the minimum payments, I'll stay out of trouble. No, you're just going to get buried deeper and deeper with the huge amount of interest that they're charging you. I always like to mention this because I learned this quite a long time ago, and once I heard this, it definitely made me start digging and realizing that things aren't always as they appear to be. And that's that Albert Einstein's famous quote of the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it will earn it. For instance, I have a high yield savings account. I make about $80 to $85 a month just in interest, just to park the money there. Okay. And, those who don't understand compound interest are going to keep paying it. Now, that's the people who say, I'm just going to keep paying the minimum payments, on my credit card because that makes sense to me right now. That's what my brain can comprehend, right? It's a losing strategy. Don't do that. I mean, if you don't believe me, just go ahead and check out Caleb Hammer's channel, and we'll hear some terrible stories about, credit card and how it cripples people, their relationships, and their lives. So, I mean, people say the credit card points and things like that are worthless. I agree. I say if you're going to use any kind of system, make it be something tangible that will actually increase in value. Use the crypto credit card, but I only use it for gas, and because we're all going to need gas. I don't live on the credit card. I use 30, 40 bucks at a time, right? And that's about $200 a month or so. I pay that off in full, and Bitcoin will continue to rise. My prediction for 2026 is that it will probably hit around 115 to $120,000. Granted, we probably are going to have to swallow some of the crypto winter that comes along with it, but the whales are going to start, moving it. So Number four, food delivery. This is a bad one, and I'm guilty of this too, and it's tough. But basically, yeah, it's not good. People are paying around 650 to almost $2,000, 1850 per year just in fees and things like that. In fees, and we're not even talking about the food. Okay, so perfect example. You order chicken Bellagio and fried cucumbers or some kind of fried dish from the Cheesecake Factory, right? And it's about a 45-50 order, right? After the fees, all of the other nonsense that comes along with it, it ends up costing you about $100, and that's insane. Okay, just think about that. You're paying double the price. I understand, if you are bedridden or you're not sick, get you some food, get you some chicken noodle soup, right? I mean, make it work for you. That makes sense. But I mean, it's no different than an overpriced convenience fee of buying a bag of chips at the gas station versus at the grocery store. We know it's crazy. It's insane what they charge just for the convenience of you showing up, to a location that's just off the freeway. So, number five, online orders. And this can definitely even include a bunch of small orders because we all think, oh, that's $5, that's $10, that's $15, that's $20, that's $25. That's not that much. And then you actually get the statement, and then you notice it's a little bit bigger than you thought because it's just you just thought in the moment, oh, these are just 25, $10, $5, things like that. And it doesn't sink in until you see the whole balance, right? And when you stack all these on top of each other, combined with flash sales, eBay auctions, Amazon, thinking you're getting the best deal, it turns almost into an addiction of consumerism. Unused subscriptions, these are the worst. I highly implore you, do not get caught in this. It's basically a hot potato of, all of these different apps basically just throwing one series or movie, between each other. And all this does is incentivize you to hop from one app to the other or stack, subscriptions on top of each other. In my research, I was saying it's around 620 dollars a year, if not over that. Sometimes over $900. That's at review.org if you want to check that out. And yeah, basically, if you use it less than once a week, it's trash. Don't use it. Get rid of it. It's not really needed. And plus, like I said, everything just keeps moving from one app to the other, and it forces you to either go without or to switch, your streaming subscription, or to then pick up another streaming subscription, which is just more money out of your pocket. Number seven, expensive workout equipment. Now, this goes for everything from clothing to equipment, because it's crazy out there, right? Um, they said I think the average person is buying about $111 in equipment or clothing. That's especially clothing for things like yoga, Pilates, which I think is the funniest thing ever since it was originally created by a British man who by the name of Joseph Pilates, who was in an internment camp in World War I, and he basically thought, that everybody should be able to work out even with, little to no equipment needed. So it's just funny how that and jogging, these free exercises, have become totally overblown, and we're paying for, right? You could pay for a bicycle and bike all over the place, but then people then decide to have cycling classes or to have, whatever those other machines are, incumbent bikes, treadmills that end up being used for hanging our clothes on to dry. I'm guilty of that. Don't believe me. All right, so I understand it. That but it's about consistency. That's what it really comes down to. And buying clothes and things to motivate you is not going to do it. It's all going to come from you. Cable TV, this one was crazy. I didn't realize it was this bad. It's basically $1,000 to $2,000 a year, and that's just cable TV. That's not even talking about bundling in the internet, which I'm a firm believer that all you need is your internet, and I mean, along with the fact that with the free channels on YouTube and all the other apps that are free, not to mention you have you're paying and still getting ads in the apps. So yeah, people wonder why piracy is gaining popularity again. I mean, just saying. And then, oh, so cable TV is about $1,000 to $1,200 per year, and that's crazy. It's just an inflated price. Not, I mean, you don't even use hardly any of the channels you watch when you get cable TV, and then when you include internet, which I think is just what we really all need because you can see everything on YouTube, Tubi. There's a plethora of other free apps, that will give you, movies with ads, shows with ads, because like I said, a lot of those apps are now, moving towards a subscription with ads, and the whole point is just to ratchet your stress levels up so you pay the additional fee for not having ads, which is what the whole thing started on. So yeah, that's a different topic. Don't get me started. I'll get lost in the sauce. Expensive coaching and weekend boot camps. Let me tell you something. If you think you're going to change in a weekend, that's not even the case. You need what, like 1,000 hours of doing something over and over to develop a habit and then to stick with it. You're not gonna, learn it and stay with it after a weekend, whether you're talking about mindset or, building skills. It's gonna take a lot of dedication and discipline from you. And a lot of times you're just overpaying for information that you could get for free at your local library, or even check out Libby. I did another video on that, where you basically can, check out audiobooks for free that are all at your local libraries. Great app. Not sponsored, just saying. And then, a lot of these seminars are just, put on, and masterminds are just put on by like fake gurus, if you will, your Tony's, your Gary, whatever. All they are is to hype you up, get you excited, get you in the building, and then to basically sell you on the next idea, the next seminar, because get to that next level, right? Then yeah, you got to buy the next course. You got to buy this book, right? It's always something that's going to be dangled in front of you. So it's all just a, long weekend pitch sale, basically, to then go get something else. You don't need a mastermind or a course. You need to execute, and that's only you are going to be able to do that. No one's going to tell you your business plan. No one's going to tell you how to run your business, right? Everyone's different. So everyone thinks that they're going to learn some magical phrase that's going to turn their business, upside down and make them realize, how to do things better. So, because I think that's more and more the case, that everyone thinks that, well, if I just pay someone else, a consultant or someone else will do it. Someone else will help me figure it out. And that's not always the case. That rarely is the case. You're number 10, pricey self-care. Now, think about this. I mean, just hear me out first. Hear me out. Okay, don't. I mean, you can come for me in the comments if you don't like this, or try and explain to me why I'm wrong. Please do. But this shouldn't require you to go into debt. I mean, it's a lot of money, and I get it. It's you want to feel good and look good, but it shouldn't cause you to go into debt. $100+ for your hair, the $50+ for your nails. But the reality is taking care of yourself actually does matter. It does. And, a lot of times it's free. Some people think, you got to go buy something or do something to make yourself feel good. Go outside, take a walk, read a book, do something that's good for you. Because, like I said, taking care of yourself matters, but when it builds pressure rather than gives you peace, that's when there's a real issue that you need to address. Find cheap ways to, get, these things done. For instance, I mean, there's a lot of people who don't want to pay, to work in someone else's nail salon. So they got to abide by their rules, this and that. I know a lot of people who, run salons out of the back of their house, right? I mean, it's all just finding what works best for you. Everyone's different, like I said. So do what works for you. That's what matters. Designer clothes, kids that are brand name clothes for kids that are growing or for people who fluctuate like myself, like I'm sure a lot of us are going through right now from October to January, February, we're about 160 and then we turn into 190 and we got to get that weight off just because it's the winter months. We're eating a lot of good food with a lot of good friends and family. So yeah, that happens. And the fact is that, I mean, you're a big walking billboard for these, expensive clothing companies because realize this, there's two types of luxury brands, right? There's the Gucci and Louis Vuitton, things like this, right? But they make two types, right? There's the kind that the consumer, the average person's going to buy the purse, the wallet, right, with the LVH, right, or what. But real wealth, you're going to see that on the red carpet. It's going to be a nice gown. It's going to be a beautiful suit. It's not going to have a damn word or anything about who made that suit. That's the difference between, the bottom and the upper tier of, luxury brands, right? So think about that next time you're thinking about buying a Louis Vuitton, a Hermes, right? It's all, and it could very all well be fake, as we've seen on those online stories about, made in China, shipped to Paris. They put the label on it. So, again, just companies trying to fool you with brand perception. Kids, they don't need expensive clothes, especially when they're going to be growing out of them in the next, 6 to 12 months. It makes little to no sense. Really overblown that parents have this idea of what an image of what how their kids should look good. Your kid should have clothes on their back. That's the real idea, not brand name clothes. That's the reality. If you think you still need the Louis Vuitton or the Hermes, or a $200 pair of shoes, you might have a serious problem that you might, need to take a look at. Those material, those are just material possessions and those are just material possessions, and consumerism can save you from your problems with those. Status spending. Oh boy, how we all have been guilty of this one, right? Trying to keep up with the Joneses, comparing ourselves with others, trying to outdo someone else's wedding, trying to get a better car than our siblings or do better than our parents or whatever the case is, right? It's always about, ego and trying to get to the next level. The way I look at it is, and this is the sad reality, okay? And you can come for me in the comments if you don't like this, but we buy crap that we don't need with money that we don't have to impress people who do not care. Okay, that's the reality of the situation, and we really need to learn how to just not give an F a lot more because there is so much peace in that you can just breathe and not have to worry about the pressures of societal norms, crushing you, that you're not making it or you're not keeping up with standards. So yeah, just and like I said, this just comes full circle with everything we've been talking about, right? Because real wealth is silent. You're able to sleep at night. It's peace of mind. Debt is not peace. You lose sleep over debt. That's a fact, okay? And when your purchases overtake your peace of mind and your sleep, is it really even worth it anymore? Anything that messes with your financial stability and doesn't allow you to sleep peacefully is not worth it. That's just my tip, and I know a lot of other people would agree with that. And that's it. Once you start these important kind of life lessons and just lock in, you'll start realizing just how much better life feels. And you'll not only see an improvement in your life financially, but mentally as well. How you manage your money and your mindset and your budget. Those really. And if you like this, check out the channel Smart Money Bro. He's a really good guy, gives a lot of good smart tips. And catch you guys in the next one. If you liked this, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. And Happy New Year! Peace.